Alabama, in the Hopewell community at the corner of the Brisky Road and Hopewell Road today to talk about another one of Alabama and Georgia's most interesting characters, and his name is John Wallace. Many of you may remember that John Wallace is famous for the book and movie Murder in Coweta County. If you are unfamiliar with the story, you might want to pick up Margaret Ann Barnes' book about the murder and also see the 1983 movie by the same name, Murder in Coweta County, starring Johnny Cash, his wife, June Carter Cash, played Mahaley, and Andy Griffith actually played the bad guy this time. He played John Wallace. It's very, very interesting. But long before John Wallace was the powerful landowner in Meriwether County, Georgia, he was a little boy, born and raised in the Hopewell community, just south of the community of Glass, right here on this corner. I have actually seen an old map of the Hopewell community that indicates that this is the Wallace farm, as well as had testimony from older members of the community that remember that this is where John Wallace was born and raised. If you are unfamiliar with the story about Murder in Coweta County, John Wallace went to Georgia's electric chair for the murder of farmhand Wilson Turner. John Wallace was a very powerful man in Meriwether County, Georgia. He lived on his family property called the Kingdom, and he ran the kingdom and he ran the county. Many people have described him as the man who had the sheriff of Meriwether County in his pocket. When Wilson Turner had been arrested, John Wallace told the sheriff of Meriwether County to release Wilson Turner at the strike of noon from the courthouse. And John Wallace had taken the gas out of Wilson Turner's automobile so that he would run out of gas just out of town on his way home. Wilson Turner was not a crazy person. He knew that John Wallace was after him, and when he was let out of jail at the strike of noon, he headed not for home, but he headed for the Coweta County, Georgia line. And he made it just past the Coweta County, Georgia line, and before John Wallace caught up to him when he ran out of gas at the Sunset Tourist Camp. And it is believed that John Wallace beat him to death in the front of 8 witnesses there in Coweta County, Georgia. That was the mistake. It happened in Coweta County. If it had happened in Meriwether County, it would have been swept under the rug. But the sheriff of Coweta County went after John Wallace, and the rest is history. But long before he was known as that murderer, he was a little boy here in the Hopewell community. He would have done what other little boys did. He would have went just down the road and played and fished in Oceanipa Creek. He would have tended the one-room schoolhouse just to about a mile up the road on the left near Hopewell United Methodist Church. Maybe he gathered with other boys in the community to go bird thrashing at night. He would have done things other little boys did. But as he stood here in front of his childhood home, he also would have pondered what we all ponder. To the right was sin, to the left was salvation. To the right, the road led across Oceanipa Creek up into a community called Berlin. Berlin was well known in this area as a place where many saloons were at, and also it's right on the river. And just across the river in Harris County, Georgia, the woods were full of moonshiners. And so no doubt the river was a natural draw to him. And no doubt maybe he slipped away that way and learned about moonshining as a child. I don't know. But many days, we know, he took to the left and went to Bryson Academy, where he attended the one-room schoolhouse. Here we are at Hopewell United Methodist Church here in the Hopewell community, just south of Valley, Alabama. And years ago, a one-room school was situated just out here to my left. The one-room school was known as Bryson Academy, and John Wallace went to school here. Long before he was known as the murderer in Murder in Coweta County, he was a little boy in the Hopewell community. This may be one of the few stories that survive from John Wallace's childhood. My family was from the Hopewell community, and my great uncle Nim Williams actually went to school here as well with other members of the family. And John Wallace and Nim Williams did not get along. John Wallace would bully Nim Williams here at the school, and it had gotten very bad, so bad that one evening Nim's mother, Charlie Williams, actually walked to the Wallace home to have a discussion with Murdy Wallace and say, look, this has got to stop. One of the boys is going to get hurt. And so she went back home, and the next day it was worse than ever. John Wallace was just a terrible bully. And Nim Williams got him back down behind the school where there was a rock pile, and he got a rock in both hands, and the story is he wore John Wallace's head out. That evening, Murdy Strickland was walking to the Williams home to complain about Nim rather than her son, of course. After that, Nim and John Wallace were friends. John Wallace once wrote a letter, and he said it takes time for a tree to grow. I suppose we could apply that to his childhood. You never know which way, as a young tree's growing, which way it's going to lean when it's old. And John Wallace was the son of Weltsy Wallace and Murdy Strickland. I am here at Weltsy Wallace's grave in West Point, Georgia. The Wallace family had settled in Chambers County, Alabama, a neighboring county, in the 1870s, and bought a farm in the Hopewell Community. They later moved to West Point, where Weltsy actually met Murdy Strickland of the Strickland family in Meriwether County, Georgia, and they married. In 1896, their first child, John Wallace, was born. There was an announcement in the Lafayette Sun. It said, Weltsy Wallace is overjoyed. It is a fine boy. They eventually, this family, settled in the Hopewell community, and Weltsy farmed with his favorite brother. He actually named his son John after that brother, and they farmed there in the Hopewell community. And Weltsy was really up and coming. He was getting interested in local politics in the Democratic Party, and he was doing well farming there with his brother. But unfortunately, when John was 11 years old, his father died unexpectedly, and who knows what that can do to a person. Who knows what influence, if Weltsy had been allowed to stay in his life during those formative years, who knows what influence Weltsy could have had on young John growing up. Later, Murdy actually moved back with her family, and she took John back to Meriwether County, Georgia, to live on the kingdom with her family. And later, if I'm understanding correctly, he would inherit the kingdom and would become very influential in Meriwether County, Georgia history. If you're interested in learning more about the John Wallace story, you can read a copy of Margaret Ann Barnes' book, Murder in Coweta County. And also, a friend of mine has two books out that are interesting to me. One of them is Oracle of the Ages, which is the story of Mahalia Lancaster. And the other one is No Remorse, The Rise and Fall of John Wallace. I hope you have a good day. I also wanted to make you aware of my newest book called Fieldstone Pillars. Fieldstone Pillars deals with the older communities in the southeast corner of Chambers County, Alabama. Communities such as Bethlehem, Glass, McGinney, Osanepa, Berlin, Hopewell, and then it stretches across the county line to include some information on the community of Striped Nation and Blanton, Alabama, and Lee County. If you'd like to get a copy of either one of these books, you can email me at pastimes2021@gmail.com. Again, that email address is pastimes2021@gmail.com. Thank you. I'd like to remind you to please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching.